Poems and Translations. Poems and Translations by John M. Synge Monsell and Company, Ltd. 96, Middle Abbey Street, Dublin 1911. Cuella Press Edition. 1909. Copyright John Quinn. 1909. Reprinted with additions, Collected Works of J. M. Synge, 1910. All rights reserved. Printed by Monsell & Co., Limited, Dublin. Contents: Poems. Preface. P11 Queens 1 in Carry 3 A Wish for the Emergency Man 5 Danny 6 Patch Shaneen 8 On an Island 10 Beginish 11 Epitaph 12 The Passing of the She 13 On an Anniversary 14 The Oaks of Glencree 15 A Question 16 Dread 17 In Glencullen 18 I've 30 Months 19 Epitaph 20 Prelude 21 In May 22 On a Birthday 23 Winter 24 The Curse 25 Translations from Petrarch Sonnets from Laura in Death Laura being dead, Petrarch finds trouble in all the things of the earth 29 He asks his heart to raise itself up to God 30 He wishes he might die and follow Laura 31 Laura is ever present to him 32 He ceases to speak of her graces and her virtues which are no more 33 He is jealous of the heavens and the earth 34 The fine time of the year increases Petrarch is sorrow 35 He understands the great cruelty of death 36 The sight of Laura's house reminds him of the great happiness he has lost 37 He sends his rhymes to the tomb of Laura to pray her to call him to her 38 Only he who mourns her and heaven that possesses her knew her while she lived 39 Laura waits for him in heaven 40 Translations from Villain and Others Prayer of the Old Woman, Villain's Mother 43 An Old Woman's Lamentations 44 Colin Musset, an old poet, complains to his patron 46 Walter von der Vogelweide 48 Leopardi Sylvia 49 Poems. Preface I have often thought that at the side of the poetic diction, which everyone condemns, modern verse contains a great deal of poetic material, using poetic in the same special sense. The poetry of exaltation will be always the highest, but when men lose their poetic feeling for ordinary life, and cannot write poetry of ordinary things, their exalted poetry is likely to lose its strength of exaltation, in the way men cease to build beautiful churches when they have lost happiness in building shops. Many of the older poets, such as Villain and Herrick and Burns, used the whole of their personal life as their material, and the verse written in this way was read by strong men and thieves and deacons, not by little cliques only. Then, in the town writing of the 18th century, ordinary life was put into verse that was not poetry, and when poetry came back with Coleridge and Shelley, it went into verse that was not always human. In these days poetry is usually a flower of evil or good, but it is the timber of poetry that wears most surely, and there is no timber that has not strong roots among the clay and worms. Even if we grant that exalted poetry can be kept successful by itself, the strong things of life are needed in poetry also, to show that what is exalted or tender is not made by feeble blood. It may almost be said that before verse can be human again it must learn to be brutal. The poems which follow were written at different times during the last 16 or 17 years, most of them before the views just stated, with which they have little to do, had come into my head. The translations are sometimes free, and sometimes almost literal, according as seemed most fitting with the form of language I have used. J.M.S. Glenagiri, December, 1908. Queen's 7 dog days we let pass naming queens in Glenmacnas, all the rare and royal names wormy sheepskin yet retains, Atane, Helen, Maeve, and Fand, golden Deirdre's tender hand, Bird, the big foot, sung by Villain, Cassandra, Ronsard found in Leon. Queens of Sheba, Meath, and Connaught, coiffed with crown, or gaudy bonnet, queens whose finger once did stir men, queens were eaten of fleas and vermin, queens men drew like Mona Lisa, or slew with drugs in Rome and Pisa. We named Lucrezia Crivelli, and Titian's lady with amber belly, queens acquainted in learned sin, Jane of Jewry's slender shin, queens who cut the bogs of Glanna, Judith of Scripture, and Gloriana, queens who wasted the East by proxy, or drove the ass cart, a tinker's doxy. Yet these are rotten, I ask their pardon, and weave the sun on rock and garden, these are rotten, so you're the queen of all our living, or have been. In Kerry we heard the thrushes by the shore and sea, and saw the golden star's nativity, then round we went the lane by Thomas Flynn, across the church where bones lie out and in, and there I asked beneath a lonely cloud of strange delight, with one bird singing loud, what change you'd wrought in graveyard, rock, and sea, this new wild paradise to wake for me. Yet knew no more than knew those merry sins had built the stack of thigh bones, jaws, and shins. A wish may 7 tears in every week touch the hollow of your cheek, that I signed with such a dew for a lion's share may sue of the roses ever curled round the maypole of the world. Heavy riddles lie in this, sorrow's sauce for every kiss. The Mergency man he was lodging above in Coombe, and he'd the half of the bailiff's room. Till a black night came in Cummasaharn, a night of rains you'd swamp a star in. Tonight, says he, with the devil's weather the hares itself will quit the heather. I'll catch my boys with a latch on the door, and serve my process on near a score. The night was black at the fording place, and the flood was up in a whitened race, but devil a bit he'd turn his face. Then the peelers said, now mind your lepping, how can you see the stones for stepping? We'll wash our hands of your bloody job. Wash and welcome, says he, begob. He made 2 leaps with a run and dash, then the peelers heard a yell and splash, and the Mergency man in 2 days and a bit was found in the ebb tide stuck in a net. Danny one night a score of Eris men, a score I'm told and 9, said, we'll get shut of Danny's noise of girls and widows dyin'. There's not his like from Binghamstown to Boyle and Ballycroy, at playing hell on decent girls, at beating man and boy. He's left 2 pairs of female twins beyond in Killakerust, and twice in Crossmolina Fair he's struck the parish priest. But we'll come round him in the night a mile beyond the mullet, 10 will quench his bloody eyes, and 10 will choke his gullet. It wasn't long till Danny came, from Bangor making way, and he was damning moon and stars and whistling grand and gay. Till in a gap of Hazel Glen and not a hair in sight out leapt the 29 lads along his left and right. Then Danny smashed the nose on Byrne, he split the lips on 3, and bit across the right-hand thumb on 1 red Sean McGee. But 7 tripped him up behind, and 7 kicked before, and 7 squeezed around his throat till Danny kicked no more. Then some destroyed him with their heels, some tramped him in the mud, some stole his purse and timber pipe, and some washed off his blood. And when you're walking out the way from Bangor to Belmullet, you'll see a flat cross on a stone where men choked Danny's gullet. Patch Shaneen and Moria Prendergast lived west in Carnarrick, and they'd a cur dog, cabbage plot, a goat, and cock of hay. He was 5'1" or 2, herself was 4'10", and he went travelling asking meal above through Carrick Glen. She'd pick her bag of Carrageen or Perry's through the surf, or loan an ass of Foxy Jim to fetch her creel of turf. Till on one windy Samhain night, when there's stir among the dead, he found her perished, stiff and stark, beside him in the bed. And now when Shaneen travels far from Drome to Ballyhire, the women lay him sacks or straw, beside the seat of fire. And when the grey cocks crow and flap, and winds are in the sky, oh, Moria, Moria, are you dead? You'll hear Patch Shaneen cry. On an island you've plucked a curlew, drawn a hen, washed the shirts of 7 men, you've stuffed my pillow, stretched the sheet, and filled the pen to wash your feet, you've cooped the pullets, wound the clock, and rinsed the young men's drinking crock, and now we'll dance to jigs and reels, nailed boots chasing girls' naked heels, until your father'll start to snore, and Jude, now you're married, will stretch on the floor. Beginish bring Katine Bug and Moria Jude to dance in Beginish, and when the lads, there in Dunkeen, have sold their crabs and fish, wave fawny shawls and call them in, and call the little girls who spin, and 7 weavers from Dunkeen, to dance in Beginish. I'll play you jigs, and Maurice Keen, where nets are laid to dry, I've silken strings would draw a dance from girls are lame or shy, 4 strings I've brought from Spain and France to make your long men skip and prance, till stars look out to see the dance where nets are laid to dry. We'll have no priest or peeler in to dance in Beginish, but we'll have drink from Riarty Jim rode round while gannets fish, a keg with porter to the brim, that every lad may have his whim, till we up sails with Riarty Jim and sail from Beginish. Epitaph after reading Ronsard's lines from Rabelais. If fruits are fed on any beast, let vine roots suck this parish priest, for while he lived, no summer sun went up but he'd a bottle done, and in the starlight beer and stout kept his waistcoat bulging out. Then death that changes happy things damned his soul to water springs. The passing of the she. After looking at one of AE's pictures, Adieu, sweet Angus, Maeve, and fanned, yet plumed yet skinny she, that poets played with hand in hand to learn their ecstasy. We'll stretch in Red Dan Sally's ditch, and drink in Tubber Fair, or poach with Red Dan Philly's bitch the badger and the hare. On an anniversary after reading the dates in a book of lyrics. With 1590 or 1616 we end Cervantes, Marot, Nash, or Green, then 1613 till 209, is Crashaw's niche, that honey lip divine. And so when all my little work is done they'll say I came in 1871, and died in Dublin. What year will they write for my poor passage to the stall of night? To the oaks of Glencree my arms are round you, and I lean against you, while the lark sings over us, and golden lights, and green shadows are on your bark. There'll come a season when you'll stretch blackboards to cover me, then in Mount Jerome I will lie, poor wretch, with worms eternally. A question I asked: if I got sick and died, would you with my black funeral go walking too, if you'd stand close to hear them talk or pray while I'm let down in that steep bank of clay? And, no, you said, for if you saw a crew of living idiots pressing round that new oak coffin they alive, I dead beneath that board you'd rave and rend them with your teeth. Dread beside a chapel I'd a room looked down, where all the women from the farms and town, on holy days and Sundays used to pass to marriages, and christenings, and to mass. Then I sat lonely watching score and score, till I turned jealous of the Lord next door. Now by this window, where there's none can see, the Lord God's jealous of yourself and me. In Glencullen thrush, linnet, stare, and wren, brown lark beside the sun, take thought of kestrel, sparrowhawk, birdlime and roving gun. You great-great-grandchildren of birds I've listened to, I think I robbed your ancestors when I was young as you. I've 30 months, and that's my pride, before my age is a double score, though many lively men have died at 29 or little more. I've left a long and famous set behind, some 7 years or 3, but there are millions I'd forget will have their laugh at passing me. 25, 9, 1908. Epitaph: a silent sinner, nights and days, no human heart to him drew nigh, alone he wound his wonted ways, alone and little loved did die. An autumn death for him did choose, a season dank with mists and rain, and took him, while the evening dews were settling o'er the fields again. Prelude: still south I went, and west and south again, through Wicklow from the morning till the night, and far from cities, and the sights of men, lived with the sunshine, and the moon's delight. I knew the stars, the flowers, and the birds, the grey and wintry sides of many glens, and did but half remember human words, in converse with the mountains, moors, and fens. In May, in a nook that opens south, you and I lay mouth to mouth. A snowy gull and sooty daw came and looked with many a caw, such, I said, are I and you, when you've kissed me black and blue. On a birthday friend of Ronsard, Nash, and Beaumont, lark of Ulster, Meath, and Thomond, heard from Smyrna and Sahara to the surf of Connemara, lark of April, June, and May, sing loudly this my Lady Day. Winter with little money in a great city, there's snow in every street where I go up and down, and there's no woman, man, or dog that knows me in the town. I know each shop, and all these Jews, and Russian Poles, for I go walking night and noon to spare my sack of coals. The curse. To a sister of an enemy of the author's who disapproved of the Playboy. Lord, confound this surly sister, blight her brow with blotch and blister, cramp her larynx, lung, and liver, in her guts a galling give her. Let her live to earn her dinners in Mountjoy with seedy sinners, Lord, this judgment quickly bring, and I'm your servant, J. M. Synge. Translations from Petrarch. Sonnets from Laura in death. Laura being dead, Petrarch finds trouble in all the things of the earth. Life is flying from me, not stopping an hour, and death is making great strides following my track. The days about me and the days passed over me, are bringing me desolation, and the days to come will be the same surely. All things that I am bearing in mind, and all things I am in dread of, are keeping me in troubles, in this way one time, in that way another time, so that if I wasn't taking pity on my own self it's long ago I'd have given up my life. If my dark heart has any sweet thing it is turned away from me, and then farther off I see the great winds where I must be sailing. I see my good luck far away in the harbor, but my steersman is tired out, and the masts and the ropes on them are broken, and the beautiful lights where I would be always looking are quenched. He asks his heart to raise itself up to God. What is it you're thinking, lonesome heart? For what is it you're turning back ever and always to times that are gone away from you? For what is it you're throwing sticks on the fire where it is your own self that is burning? The little looks and sweet words you've taken one by one and written down among your songs, are gone up into the heavens, and it's late, you know well, to go seeking them on the face of the earth. Let you not be giving new life every day to your own destruction, and following a fool's thoughts forever. Let you seek heaven when there is nothing left pleasing on the earth, and it a poor thing if a great beauty, the like of her, would be destroying your peace and she living or dead. He wishes he might die and follow Laura in the years of her age, the most beautiful and the most flowery. The time love has his mastery. Laura, who was my life, has gone away leaving the earth stripped and desolate. She has gone up into the heavens, living and beautiful and naked, and from that place she is keeping her lordship and her reign upon me, and I crying out, O hone, when will I see that day breaking that will be my first day with herself in paradise? My thoughts are going after her, and it is that way my soul would follow her, lightly, and airily, and happily, and I would be rid of all my great troubles. But what is delaying me is the proper thing to lose me utterly, to make me a greater weight on my own self. Oh, what a sweet death I might have died this day 3 years today. Laura is ever present to him if the birds are making lamentation, or the green banks are moved by a little wind of summer, or you can hear the waters making a stir by the shores that are green and flowery. That's where I do be stretched out thinking of love, writing my songs, and herself that heaven shows me though hidden in the earth I set my eyes on, and hear the way that she feels my sighs and makes an answer to me. Alas, I hear her say, why are you using yourself up before the time is come, and pouring out a stream of tears so sad and doleful? You'd do right to be glad rather, for in dying I won days that have no ending, and when you saw me shutting up my eyes I was opening them on the light that is eternal. He ceases to speak of her graces and her virtues, which are no more the eyes that I would be talking of so warmly, and the arms, and the hands, and the feet, and the face that are after calling me away from myself, and making me a lonesome man among all people. The hair that was of shining gold, and brightness of the smile that was the like of an angel's surely, and was making a paradise of the earth, are turned to a little dust that knows nothing at all. And yet I myself am living, it is for this I am making a complaint to be left without the light I had such a great love for, in good fortune and bad, and this will be the end of my songs of love, for the vein where I had cleverness is dried up, and everything I have is turned to complaint only. He is jealous of the heavens and the earth, what a grudge I am bearing the earth that has its arms about her, and is holding that face away from me, where I was finding peace from great sadness. What a grudge I am bearing the heavens that are after taking her, and shutting her in with greediness, the heavens that do push their bolt against so many. What a grudge I am bearing the blessed saints that have got her sweet company, that I am always seeking, and what a grudge I am bearing against death, that is standing in her two eyes, and will not call me with a word. The fine time of the year increases Petrarchus' sorrow, the south wind is coming back, bringing the fine season, and the flowers, and the grass, her sweet family, along with her. The swallow and the nightingale are making a stir, and the spring is turning white and red in every place. There is a cheerful look on the meadows, and peace in the sky, and the sun is well pleased, I'm thinking, looking downward, and the air and the waters and the earth herself are full of love, and every beast is turning back looking for its mate. And what is coming to me is great sighing and trouble, which herself is drawing out of my deep heart, herself that has taken the key of it up to heaven. And it is this way I am, that the singing birds, and the flowers of the earth, and the sweet ladies, with their grace and comeliness, are the like of a desert to me, and wild beasts astray in it. He understands the great cruelty of death. My flowery and green age was passing away, and I, feeling a chill in the fires, had been wasting my heart, for I was drawing near the hillside that is above the grave. Then my sweet enemy was making a start, little by little, to give over her great weariness, the way she was wringing a sweet thing out of my sharp sorrow. The time was coming when love and decency can keep company, and lovers may sit together and say out all things are in their hearts. But death had his grudge against me, and he got up in the way, like an armed robber, with a pike in his hand. The sight of Laura's house reminds him of the great happiness he has lost. Is this the nest in which my phoenix put on her feathers of gold and purple, my phoenix that did hold me under her wing, and she drawing out sweet words and sighs from me? Oh, root of my sweet misery, where is that beautiful face, where light would be shining out, the face that did keep my heart like a flame burning? She was without a match upon the earth, I hear them say, and now she is happy in the heavens. And she has left me after her dejected and lonesome, turning back all times to the place I do be making much of for her sake only, and I seeing the night on the little hills where she took her last flight up into the heavens, and where one time her eyes would make sunshine and at night itself. He sends his rhymes to the tomb of Laura to pray her to call him to her. Let you go down, sorrowful rhymes, to the hard rock is covering my dear treasure, and then let you call out till herself that is in the heavens will make answer, though her dead body is lying in a shady place. Let you say to her that it is tired out I am with being alive, with steering in bad seas, but I am going after her step by step, gathering up what she let fall behind her. It is of her only I do be thinking, and she living and dead, and now I have made her with my songs so that the whole world may know her, and give her the love that is her due. May it please her to be ready for my own passage that is getting near, may she be there to meet me, herself in the heavens, that she may call me, and draw me after her. Only he who mourns her and heaven that possesses her, knew her while she lived. Ah, death, it is you that have left the world cold and shady, with no sun over it. It's you have left love without eyes or arms to him, you've left liveliness stripped, and beauty without a shape to her, and all courtesy in chains, and honesty thrown down into a hole. I am making lamentation alone, though it isn't myself only has a cause to be crying out, since you, death, have crushed the first seed of goodness in the whole world, and with it gone, what place will we find a second? The air and the earth and seas would have a good right to be crying out, and they pitying the race of men that is left without herself, like a meadow without flowers or a ring robbed of jewelry. The world didn't know her the time she was in it, but I myself knew her, and I left now to be weeping in this place, and the heavens knew her, the heavens that are giving an ear this day to my crying out. Laura waits for him in heaven. The first day she passed up and down through the heavens, gentle and simple were left standing, and they in great wonder, saying one to the other, what new light is that? What new beauty at all? The like of herself hasn't risen up these long years from the common world. And herself, well pleased with the heavens, was going forward, matching herself with the most perfect that were before her, yet one time, and another, waiting a little, and turning her head back to see if myself was coming after her. It's for that I'm lifting up all my thoughts and will into the heavens, because I do hear her praying that I should be making haste forever. Translations from Villain and others. Villain prayer of the old woman, Villain's mother, mother of God, that's Lady of the heavens, take myself, the poor sinner, the way I'll be along with them that's chosen. Let you say to your own son that he'd have a right to forgive my share of sins, when it's the like he's done, many's the day, with big and famous sinners. I'm a poor aged woman, was never at school, and is no scholar with letters, but I've seen pictures in the chapel with paradise on one side, and harps and pipes in it, and the place on the other side, where sinners do be boiled in torment. The one gave me great joy, the other a great fright and scaring. Let me have the good place, Mother of God, and it's in your faith I'll live always. It's yourself that bore Jesus, that has no end or death, and he the Lord Almighty, that took our weakness and gave himself to sorrows, a young and gentle man. It's himself is our Lord surely, and it's in that faith I'll live always. Villain, an old woman's lamentations. The man I had a love for, a great rascal, would kick me in the gutter, is dead 30 years and over it, and it is I am left behind, grey and aged. When I do be minding the good days I had, minding what I was one time, and what it is I'm come to, and when I do look on my own self, poor and dry, and pinched together, it wouldn't be much would set me raging in the streets. Where is the round forehead I had, and the fine hair, and the 2 eyebrows, and the eyes with a big gay look out of them would bring folly from a great scholar? Where is my straight, shapely nose, and 2 ears, and my chin with a valley in it, and my lips were red and open? Where are the pointed shoulders were on me, and the long arms and nice hands to them? Where is my bosom was as white as any, or my straight rounded sides? It's the way I am this day. My forehead is gone away into furrows, the hair of my head is grey and whitish, my eyebrows are tumbled from me, and my 2 eyes have died out within my head, those eyes that would be laughing to the men. My nose has a hook on it, my ears are hanging down, and my lips are sharp and skinny. That's what's left over from the beauty of a right woman, a bag of bones, and legs the like of 2 shriveled sausages going beneath it. It's of the like of that we old hags do be thinking, of the good times are gone away from us, and we crouching on our hunkers by a little fire of twigs, soon kindled and soon spent, we that were the pick of many. Colin Musset, an old poet, complains to his patron from the old French, I'm getting old in your big house, and you've never stretched your hand with a bit of gold to me, or a day's wages itself. By my faith in Mary, it's not that way. I'll serve you always, living on my pocket, with a few coppers only, and a small weight in my bag. You've had me to this day, singing on your stairs before you, but I'm getting a good mind to be going off, when I see my purse flattened out, and my wife does be making a fool of me from the edge of the door. It's another story I hear when I come home at night, and herself looks behind me, and sets her eye on my bag stuffed to bursting, and I may be with a grey, decent coat on my back. It's that time she's not long leaving down her spinning and coming with a smile, ready to choke me with her two hands squeezing my neck. It's then my sons have a great rage to be rubbing the sweat from my horse, and my daughter isn't long wringing the necks on a pair of chickens, and making a stew in the pot. It's that day my youngest will bring me a towel, and she with nice manners. It's a full purse, I tell you, makes a man lord in his own house. Walter von der Vogelweide, I never set my two eyes on a head was so fine as your head, but I'd no way to be looking down into your heart. It's for that I was tricked out and out, that was the thanks I got for being so steady in my love. I tell you, if I could have laid my hands on the whole set of the stars, the moon, and the sun along with it, by Christ I'd have given the lot to her. No place have I set eyes on the like of her. She's bad to her friends, and gay and playful with those she'd have a right to hate. I ask you, can that behavior have a good end come to it? Leopardi Sylvia, are you bearing in mind that time when there was a fine look out of your eyes, and yourself, pleased and thoughtful, were going up the boundaries that are set to childhood? That time the quiet rooms, and the lanes about the house, would be noisy with your songs that were never tired out, the time you'd be sitting down with some work that is right for women, and well pleased with the hazy coming times you were looking out at in your own mind. May was sweet that year, and it was pleasantly you'd pass the day. Then I'd leave my pleasant studies, and the paper I had smudged with ink where I would be spending the better part of the day, and cock my ears from the sill of my father's house, till I'd hear the sound of your voice, or of your loom when your hands moved quickly. It's then I would set store of the quiet sky and the lanes and little places, and the sea was far away in one place and the high hills in another. There is no tongue will tell till the judgment what I feel in myself those times. Transcriber's note: minor punctuation errors have been changed without notice. End of the Project Gutenberg ebook. Poems and translations. Updated editions will replace the previous one. The old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the General Terms of Use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances, and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start, full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Electronic Works 1.a. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the foundation or PGLOF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying, or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4 Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark. 1.e.5 Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark license. 1.e.6 You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee, or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7 Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8 You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works provided that, you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark works. 1.e.9 If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f.1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects, such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs, and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive, or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion, and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs, and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark. Project Gutenberg trademark is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers including obsolete, old, middle-aged, and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, Utah 841-16801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork, and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways including checks, online payments, and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark electronic works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the U.S. unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks. Poems and translations. Contents. Poems. Preface. Queens in Carry a Wish. The Emergency Man. Danny Patch. Shaneen on an Island. Beginish. Epitaph. The Passing of the She on an Anniversary to the Oaks of Glencree. A Question. Dread in Glencullen. I've 30 months. Epitaph. Prelude in May on a Birthday. Winter. The Curse. Translations from Petrarch. Sonnets from Laura in Death. Laura being dead, Petrarch finds trouble in all the things of the earth. He asks his heart to raise itself up to God. He wishes he might die and follow Laura. Laura is ever present to him. He ceases to speak of her graces and her virtues which are no more. He is jealous of the heavens and the earth. The fine time of the year increases Petrarch's sorrow. He understands the great cruelty of death. The sight of Laura's house reminds him of the great happiness he has lost. He sends his rhymes to the tomb of Laura to pray her to call him to her. Only he who mourns her and heaven that possesses her, knew her while she lived. Laura waits for him in heaven. Translations from Villain and Others. Villain. Prayer of the Old Woman, Villain's Mother. Villain. An Old Woman's Lamentations. Colin Musset, an old poet, complains to his patron Walter von der Vogelweide. Leopardi. Sylvia. Transcribers note the full Project Gutenberg license PG-11 PG-12 PG-1 PG-2 PG-3 PG-4 PG-5 PG-6 PG-7 PG-8 PG-9 PG-10 PG-11 PG-12 PG-13 PG-14 PG-15 PG-16 PG-17 PG-18 PG-19 PG-20 PG-21 PG-22 PG-23 PG-24 PG-25 PG-26 PG-27 PG-28 PG-29 PG-30 PG-31 PG-32 PG-33 PG-34 PG-35 PG-36 PG-37 PG-38 PG-39 PG-40 PG-41 PG-42 PG-43 PG-44 PG-45 PG-46 PG-47 PG-48 PG-49 PG-50